In 2020, the Africa Judges and Jurists Forum began to implement a project to promote state compliance with human rights standards in combating COVID-19 in Southern Africa. The project focuses on 5 countries, which include Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, Malawi, and Botswana. The project involved a number of activities, including a study on the impact of COVID-19 on the administration of justice by courts in Southern Africa. It is that study whose report we are launching today. The objective of the study is to identify the specific challenges that the courts were facing in administering justice during the COVID era, and make recommendations on measures which can be introduced in the short term and medium term as well, in order to return the courts to full-scale operation, even as the COVID-19 pandemic continues. Because the existence of fully functional courts is a necessity for access to justice by millions of people, and therefore countries cannot afford to scale down court operations until the vaccine against COVID-19 is made accessible to all, and until everyone has been vaccinated. On its methodology and limitations, the study clarifies that its scope is limited to access to justice as administered by courts. So the police, prisons, and the prosecutorial services and others are not covered under this study. However, AJJF believes that there will be other partners that will be covering those other areas, but at a future date, AJJF itself may be interested in covering those other areas as well. The study then addresses the nature of measures undertaken by states in response to COVID-19. And these comprised majorly in 2 elements. You had executive action, which comprised in states of emergency, states of disaster, the preventive guidelines, which had the effect of freezing human movement, even in circumstances where those were meant in pursuit of justice, except in very limited circumstances. Secondly, the state action comprised in practice directives and legal notices which were issued by the judiciaries in those 5 states which were studied. So the report then discusses the key restrictions which were imposed on access to justice at that time. And then it then moves on to treat the central issue in the study, which is the assessment of the impact of COVID-19 on the administration of justice in Southern Africa. And to do so effectively, the study discusses a conceptual framework to guide its assessment. Why is this approach necessary? It would be difficult. It is necessary because it would be difficult to assess the impact of COVID-19 on the administration of justice without setting some guiding posts, some standard or yardstick against the impact, against which you would assess the impact of COVID-19 on the courts in Southern Africa. So the conceptual framework then establishes 5 indicators, if you like, against which the administration of justice by the courts is measured. One is that is a legal framework which guarantees equal rights to all people. 2, availability and access to legal representation. 3, accessibility of the court system that is capable of discharging its functions. And 4, the ability to discharge matters in a timely manner through a fair process. And 5, the presence of adequate legal awareness among members of the public. So it is those 5 areas against which the assessment is being done. Then the study moves on to provide recommendations which could be undertaken to return the courts to functional levels of operation. A summary of these recommendations are the subject of the discussion that the next presenter is going to make. Thank you very much, Justice Ningake.